Ladies and gentlemen, we have a breaking news update.
Breaking news, Justin Baldoni has seemingly lost his legal war with Blake Lively.
Breaking news, a federal judge in New York dismisses Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against Blake Lively.
This is a devastating defeat.
Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, has been dismissed. This is a major legal setback. So the judge here says that his claims were not legally sufficient.
Justin Baldoni was suffered a huge blow and it's over, but we can find.
The verdict dropped, and Blake Lively couldn't contain it. She surged out of the room before the echoes of the judge's voice even faded. This wasn't just a win, it was a total collapse of the narrative everyone thought they knew. The air in that New York courtroom turned freezing as months of calculated PR moves suddenly met a reality no one expected. It was the storm after the eerie calm. Everyone watching knew that the silence wasn't acceptance. It was the start of a massive fallout that is now set to shake the very foundations of Hollywood. This wasn't just another legal victory for a superstar. It was a brazen display of influence that has left the entire legal world stunned and questioning the system.
Their amended will address all issues and probably bring in newly
Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against the Hollywood power couple had just been tossed aside like trash. Judge Lyman ruled the claims were legally insufficient, a move that sent shockwaves through the industry. But this wasn't the end of the war. It was the start of a much uglier chapter involving allegations of systemic corruption. People are calling it a devastating defeat for justice, but the silence following the ruling was actually the precursor to unprecedented accusations. Insiders are now whispering about a powerful legal operation that potentially reached the judge long before the evidence was ever reviewed. It suggests a world where the outcome is decided by status rather than the actual merits of the case.
It's overseeing the consolidated federal cases here, tossed Baldoni's lawsuit into the...
Insiders are whispering about a sophisticated legal operation that allegedly reached the judge's desk before he even touched the evidence. It wasn't just about the law anymore. It was about who held the most keys to the kingdom. Rumors of a rigged outcome began to swirl as soon as the dismissal was announced, suggesting the New York legal system might have been compromised by the very stars it was meant to regulate. This dismissal wasn't just a legal setback. It was a calculated move that many believe was set in motion months ago. The legal world is erupting with claims that this wasn't justice, but rather corruption unfolding in plain sight for the world to see and wonder about.
He'd be telling the truth still, which we all believe. Blake Lively's claims could be false. The problem is he had to make a claim, right? He has to have a claim that defamation and things and that.
Just days before the hammer fell, 19 high-powered entertainment organizations reportedly swamped the judge's office with intense legal briefs. These weren't your typical court filings. They were described as heavy-handed pressure tactics designed to intimidate the bench. The message was crystal clear: dismiss this case or face the consequences of being held responsible for harming future harassment victims. Sources are calling this move extortion masquerading as activism. It painted a stark picture of how far powerful figures will allegedly go to control legal outcomes and maintain their public narratives. This was an unmistakable signal that the industry elite would not let this case go to trial.
Did the things Blake did. It's that his case doesn't hold up given.
The judge himself, Judge Lyman, isn't just a neutral figure in a black robe. His own brother is a prominent Hollywood director with massive ties to the very people standing in front of him. This family connection sparked immediate red flags for legal experts who questioned how any impartial ruling could be made. When your family's fortune potentially depends on staying in the industry's good graces, can you truly remain impartial concerning industry giants like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? This undeniable conflict of interest was largely ignored by mainstream media, but it suggested a system that was potentially compromised from within. It's the kind of detail that changes everything.
Everything that the Wayfarer parties said is true in their complaint. They can't sue Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Sloan for these out-of-court, allegedly defamatory statements because of these strong first.
Reports suggest the judge's family even received subtle but unmistakable warnings about what would happen if the case were allowed to proceed. In the hills of Hollywood, you don't need a direct threat to get the point across. Careers vanish with one phone call, and multi-million-dollar projects evaporate overnight. When you're dealing with individuals who control entire studios and have the power to blacklist anyone at will, explicit threats are unnecessary. The message is conveyed through quiet industry channels, ensuring compliance without overt coercion. It's a terrifying look at how influence works behind the scenes to ensure that the powerful remain protected from any real accountability.
So the judge says that there is no evidence that Reynolds, Lively, or New York Times knowingly spread falsehoods. Lively's statements in her formal complaint are—
Despite what was described as a mountain of evidence showing a coordinated campaign of falsehoods, the judge dismissed everything. The lawsuit alleged that Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and even the New York Times worked together to dismantle Baldoni's reputation. Usually, defamation cases with this much documentation go straight to a jury, but this one was cut short before the public could ever see the full truth. The judge asserted that Baldoni failed to demonstrate malicious intent, a finding that many experts find highly suspicious. It suggested the system might have been stacked from the start, overlooking clear evidence of broken promises and manipulated media campaigns.
the first time to actually amend it and make the judge accept.
The role of the New York Times in this saga has left a bitter taste in the mouths of many journalists. They allegedly broke a direct promise to give Baldoni until noon on December 21st to respond to serious allegations. Instead, they hit the publish button at 9:47 in the morning, effectively silencing his side of the story before it could even be told. Internal emails uncovered during discovery reportedly revealed the reporter contacted Blake's team multiple times for context, but never once reached out to Baldoni's representatives. It was a staggering ethical breach that showed a clear prioritization of one side's agenda over the basic principles of fair and balanced reporting.
Even though all of them are telling us the same thing.
Perhaps the most chilling revelation involves the origin of Blake's own harassment complaint. Court filings reportedly indicate the document wasn't even written by her legal team. It was allegedly crafted by the Crisis Management Consulting Group, the same firm that handled damage control for some of the industry's most disgraced figures like Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. Their specialty is offensive victim positioning, which involves transforming alleged perpetrators into victims through highly engineered legal language and strategic media manipulation. This raises profound questions about the true genesis of the complaint and the motivations behind its specific and damaging structure.
In this case like this, I don't think there's much hope for Baldoni to actually receive any form of compensation for what he's.
This firm allegedly utilized a massive legal loophole known as the litigation privilege. Under specific California laws, any statement made in an official court complaint is protected from defamation claims, even if that statement is a complete and total falsehood. By filing their harassment complaint first, Blake's team effectively weaponized the court system to spread damaging lies with absolute legal immunity. They knew they could include any accusation they wanted without fear of legal consequences. It was a strategic move that allowed them to control the narrative through the courts while ensuring their own statements could never be used against them in a defamation suit.
If you could get sued successfully, that person, you would be wiped out. No small journalist or independent journalist or even small newspaper would ever take on a big corporation.
The strategy was cold and calculated. They allegedly picked Los Angeles for specific filings to take advantage of aggressive anti-SLAPP laws that favor quick dismissals. It's a move often compared to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Depp's team famously filed in Virginia because California's laws would have likely ended his case before a jury could ever hear it. These laws, which were originally meant to shield small journalists from powerful corporations, have reportedly been repurposed by the entertainment elite to silence victims. It creates a chilling effect across the entire industry, making it nearly impossible for anyone without a billion-dollar studio behind them to fight back. New leaks suggest that the timing of these filings was no accident. Internal communications reportedly show the team deliberately delayed their strategy for 6 weeks, specifically to ensure their case landed on Judge Lyman's docket. This points to a level of inside knowledge about judicial assignments and strategic judge selection that would make any legal observer uncomfortable. It paints a picture of a system where powerful players don't just follow the law. They potentially handpick the judges they know will be favorable to their motions. This undermines the very idea of impartial justice and suggests that the legal battle was won before it even officially started. Smoking gun evidence from sealed court transcripts has recently surfaced, and it contains what some call self-incriminating words from Blake herself. During a deposition in February, she reportedly swore under oath that she never discussed Justin Baldoni with the media or coordinated any press against him. However, Baldwin's subpoenas later revealed she made 17 calls to entertainment reporters in just a few days. One call to a senior editor at People magazine lasted over 40 minutes, directly contradicting her sworn testimony. These direct contradictions point to serious allegations of making false statements under oath, which could threaten her entire legal standing and credibility. Ryan Reynolds' involvement in the situation was allegedly much deeper than just being a supportive husband. Discovery processes produced text messages where Reynolds reportedly instructed a publicist to ensure the negative narrative against Baldoni would stick. He allegedly wrote that Justin wouldn't be able to recover if they did it right, and he promised to handle the studio calls personally. It wasn't just a spousal concern, it was described as an active, coordinated effort to control the story and damage a professional life. This revelation has deepened the controversy, showing that the campaign against Baldoni was a strategic operation involving the industry's most powerful couple. The reach of this campaign allegedly extended to the highest levels of major studios. Court filings confirm Reynolds personally contacted 12 different studio executives, warning them against associating with Baldoni. He reportedly labeled his co-star a significant legal and reputational risk in emails copied to his legal team. In one of the most incriminating moments, he allegedly made 6 calls to Disney executives on the very day the harassment complaint was filed. These calls weren't just for information. They were part of a systematic effort to ensure that Baldoni was cut off from any future work or professional support within the tight-knit world of big-budget filmmaking. Executives at Disney were reportedly left reeling by the pressure, with one writing in an internal email that Reynolds was essentially blackmailing the studio. He allegedly threatened to withdraw from massive Marvel projects if Disney didn't immediately sever all ties with Baldoni-affiliated productions. This goes way beyond protecting a family member. It was a scorched earth policy designed to blacklist a colleague from the entire industry. The digital trail of these communications provides a terrifying look at how much power a single A-list star can wield over someone's livelihood when they decide to use their influence as a weapon to achieve a specific outcome. Even the media campaign had a scripted feel to it. Emails sent to major outlets like Variety and The Hollywood Reporter reportedly contained scripted talking points provided by Blake's team. They were designed to frame Baldoni as a pattern predator, hitting the internet in timed waves for maximum impact. One text message from a publicist to Blake simply read, "Phase 1 complete," and noted that he wouldn't survive the weekend. This confirms what many suspected. It was a calculated destruction campaign meant to eliminate Baldoni before he could even present a defense. It wasn't just about winning a case, it was about total character assassination. The financial stakes of this battle are staggering. Baldoni's lawsuit described what his team called an economic assault, claiming Blake orchestrated a full corporate takeover of his creative project. She allegedly used her connections to strip him of his directorial control and nullify his contracts for a project he had developed for years. Her team reportedly leveraged industry ties to pressure distributors into deals that excluded Baldoni from profits and sequels. The estimated cost to Baldoni is nearly $350 million in lost domestic and international revenue. It's a massive sum that illustrates the real-world consequences of this alleged takeover. It didn't stop with one film. Blake's team allegedly reached out to every other project Baldoni had in development, spreading maliciously false information that led to 3 major studio deals being canceled in mere weeks. Ryan Reynolds himself reportedly spoke with executives at Sony, Warner Brothers, and Netflix. According to depositions, these weren't casual conversations. He explicitly warned studio heads that collaborating with Baldoni would bring legal risks and PR disasters that no studio could survive. This effective blacklisting has theoretically barred Baldoni from future industry opportunities, showing how a coordinated attack can dismantle a career across the board. Then there are the mental health records. Blake initially claimed severe emotional distress, seeking $25 million in damages. But when the judge ordered an independent psychiatric evaluation and disclosure, her team filed emergency motions to block it. The court-appointed psychiatrist reportedly noted no actual trauma response, observing only calculated emotional displays that seemed rehearsed for the camera. Sealed records allegedly revealed she was coached by crisis management consultants on how to perform symptoms for the media and legal proceedings. This exposes a shocking level of manipulation intended to sway both public opinion and the court's final decision. The House of Cards began to wobble when the judge finally ruled that Blake couldn't claim emotional damages without medical evidence. He stated that she could not seek monetary compensation while simultaneously blocking the court-ordered evaluation. Consequently, she was forced to withdraw her entire $25 million claim, eliminating the largest component of her lawsuit. All evidence regarding her psychological suffering, including those tearful media interviews, was then excluded from the case. This dramatic reversal significantly weakened her position and highlighted the manufactured nature of her initial claims, proving that even the best-laid plans can fall apart. Despite the initial legal win, the tide is turning in the industry. Major studios are quietly distancing themselves from the star. Sony reportedly removed her from 3 upcoming projects, and Netflix executives convened emergency meetings to pause 2 others, citing reputational and litigation concerns. The discovery process has revealed too many concerning details about her methods and credibility for the industry to ignore. Even with a judge's dismissal, the public perception is shifting. Studios are sensitive to liability, and the revelations from this case have marked her as a controversial figure that many are no longer willing to gamble on for their big-budget productions. While it looks like a legal victory on paper, the cost has been astronomical. With legal fees exceeding $10 million and a reputation in tatters, the win feels more like a private financial disaster. Baldoni's team is already preparing a massive appeal, using the paper trail of alleged corruption and judicial bias to challenge the ruling in a higher court. This loss might have been his most calculated maneuver, creating a public record of the industry's insidious influence. In the end, the courtroom verdict might not matter as much as the fact that the curtain has been pulled back, ensuring that this apparent victory is remembered as the prelude to a total downfall.